Folks, the sign as the teams walked out today said beyond greatness. And tonight we will see two teams that signify greatness and then some on the pitch tonight. It's number three Sweden against number one United States as the winner faces Japan in the quarterfinals. Hello, everyone. I'm Mihir Sinhasan, and thanks for tuning in. What is an early Sunday morning in the United States? We're a regular morning in Sweden as it approaches midday. But nonetheless, what a great day ahead of us. Sweden got to the spot, it being first in Group G. U.S. got the runner-up spot in Group E to get to where they are right now. Again, interesting for both sides. So with that, let's go on with the starting lineup. Sweden making 9 changes to the lineup from their win against Argentina. You're going to have Cecilia Musovic in goal, 4-2-3-1. So Joanna Anderson, Magdalena Eriksson, Amanda Ilstedt, and Natalie Björn in the back. Holding midfielders will be Ellen Rubinson and Filippa Angeldal. Attacking midfielders, Fridolina Rofa, Kosovar Aslani, and Joanna Kanerd. Up top, Stina Blackstenius. For the United States, in a 4-3-3, they'll be making 2 changes from their 0-0 draw against Portugal. Alyssa Nair in goal. Crystal Dunn, Naomi Girma, Emily Sonnet, and Emily Fox across the back. Lindsay Horan, Andy Sullivan, and Julie Ertz in the midfield. Sophia Smith, Alex Morgan, and Trinity Rodman up front. Again, as I mentioned, changes for both sides. 9 for Sweden, the only 2 players on the pitch that started against Argentina, which ended up being a 2-0 win, were the 2 center backs, Magdalena Eriksson and Amanda Ilstedt. And then you also have 3 players that are making their first appearance at the 2023 Women's World Cup. Angeldal, Filippa Angeldal, Natalie Björn, and Cecilia Musovic in goal. For the U.S., Emily Sonacek in center back, Trinity Rodman will be up top. And we are underway from Melbourne Rectangular Stadium, the United States in the all-white kits going from right to left, Sweden in the yellow tops, blue shorts, and yellow socks going from left to right. And as I mentioned in my lead-up, I mentioned this in the preview, this is an interesting matchup. Sweden, back in 2016, faced the United States in the quarterfinals in Rio de Janeiro. It was a big game that day. The United States were looking to three-peat as gold medalists. Sweden took the match to penalties. Rather, they got the opening goal. United States took the match to penalties with an equalizer, where Sweden ended up winning. Speaking of Sweden, here's Kosovar Aslani setting this into the box, a little too far for Blackstenius, and Rofa won't get there. Tracked by Emily Fox on the back side. Deflected out by Rofa, throwing for the U.S. But as I was saying, it was Sweden that got the better of the United States that day and denied them a chance to three-peat as gold medalists at the Olympics. And that was the first time the United States was denied a gold, silver, or bronze medal at the Olympics. Meanwhile, here comes Sweden again. Not the best pass to Kanerd, as picked up by the U.S. Sophia Smith going the other way. She's playing it through, trying to find Morgan into some space. Here comes Morgan again on the left-hand side, trying to cut her way through. Lost the ball there. She's still fighting for it. And flailing over there ended up being Natalie Björn cutting inside with that first free kick of the day and in favor of the Swedes. So the Swedish are in a very similar position to where they were 7 years ago in Brazil. Of course, on that day, they ended up upending the United States, denied them of a gold, silver, or bronze finish at the Olympics. Now, what we'll see here is quite interesting as well. It's since 1991, so that is the first 8 appearances, rather the last 8 appearances, basically the same thing. 8 appearances the United States has made at the Women's World Cup. Every time this team has ended up in the top 4. It's in danger today if Sweden advances. Here's Rofa on the left, out, whipped in by Anderson, cross sent in a little too far for running Kanerd, collected by Sophia Smith on the back post. She goes a little forward. Smith still going with the ball. She's at midfield now, trying to cross it. It goes off of referee Stephanie Frappard, and with that, we'll have a drop ball. She was trying to play it out to the right, I believe, maybe for Trinity Rodman. And as I mentioned, Some interesting changes. Obviously, from an interesting perspective, really just Emily Sonnet checking in at center back. Julie Ertz, who've been playing right center back all this time, checks in the midfield in the number 8 position. The biggest reason why this is happening is because Rose Lavelle is out with yellow card suspension, picked up one against Netherlands, and then picked up one against Portugal. Got the two head coaches for this one. Peter Gerhardsson for Sweden. Again, a man that has been coaching in Sweden for a long time, since 1993. Coached the men's U17 side in 2004, or rather from 2002 to 2004. Third place at the 2019 Women's World Cup. Silver medalist at the 2020 Olympics. And we're in the top 4 in the Women's Euro last year. And of course, for the United States, you got Vlatko Andonovski on the other side. Took over from Jill Ellis back in 2019 after the Women's World Cup. Of course, the U.S. were able to get in the top 4 in Tokyo, and were able to get some She Believes Cup wins, which ended up happening earlier this year. Did not allow a goal either. Anderson will have to track back here. Ofa and to Eriksson. Passed out towards Ilestedt. Björn. Ilestedt again. 4 minutes into this one, still scoreless between Sweden and the United States. Up pitch, trying to find Angeldal, trying to go up pitch now with with Kanerd on the end line cross. Wolfa giving chase, same with Fox as it goes to the right hand side. Seen out, and that will be a United States throw-in. Oh, pardon me, it looks like it might have taken a deflection, so that will stay with Sweden. Anderson, Rodman pressuring, able to get the ball back to Sonnet. Still in the defensive third, though. I got to give credit, though. The wingers able to track back all the way to find their spots in space. Morgan, by the way, in the defensive third to pass it out towards Crystal Dunn on the left-hand side. Dunn circles back. Laid back towards Naomi Girma. Sonnet, or Ertz rather. Now a little forward. Fox, now with Rodman. In a very counterintuitive attack. Now, again, this could be because you're playing a team like Sweden. And again, some of the commentators for Fox Sports were posing the question, who is the better team emotionally and mentally in this match? Is it Sweden? Is it the United States? Will we see what ends up happening in these first 15 minutes or so? Here's Haran, picks her head up, but her pass blocked away there and eventually sent forward by Rofa all the way back to Alyssa Nair. Fox, Julie Ertz. Now, again, on the stat sheet, Ertz is listed as a midfielder. And again, she played midfielder at the 2019 Women's World Cup, but she is no stranger to playing center back. Meanwhile, Haran trying to play through towards Morgan, goes out towards Rodman. Now to find Morgan on the right-hand side, edge of the box. Rodman now inside the box, crossed in low for Smith. Smith dribbling on the ball, still fighting her way. Cleared away only as far as Sullivan, who takes a shot. That goes wide. First chance of the day for the United States. They look like the better team, although it's been a very end-to-end type match so far. I'll tell you what, it's a promising start from the United States, a team that is known for getting on the attack early, and I do give them credit, right? Happened against Vietnam, happened against Netherlands, happened against Portugal. But the biggest question is, and it goes back to what Jimmy Conrad said, is are they relentless, right? We're seeing it now, and it's good signs, but do you think the United States could be in a point where they need to get a goal here to feel confident with themselves? Haran in the attacking third just flips the ball up and out of play in an attempt to save it. Throw in for Sweden. Anderson to take the throw. Looking downfield, laid off with Rolfa, back with Anderson, who sent forward towards Blackstenius, and dribbles all the way towards Girma. Girma plays back towards goal with the Nair. USA chants hurtling around Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. Again, both these teams played all of their group stage matches in New Zealand, and then they made the 3 to 4 hour flight to Australia to play this one. The only two stadiums that are hosting knockouts in New Zealand are Wellington and Wellington Regional Stadium and Eden Park in Auckland. That is it. Everybody else, that is the two other stadiums, Forsyth Bar in Dunedin and Waikato Stadium in Hamilton, will not be hosting any matchups. So that is why, despite half of the teams playing their group stage match and essentially being in a bracket of their own against other teams playing in New Zealand, these two teams, and also Netherlands, South Africa earlier today, have to play in Australia. 1-2 there goes to Kinnaird on the right. Cross deflected out by Dunn. And with that, we have our first corner kick of the day. A good combo there. Kinnaird again with a lot of space on that right-hand side. Crystal Dunn, a good job to recover there. And now it becomes the interesting question for Sweden. They've scored a lot of goals off corner kicks in this 2023 Women's World Cup. Amanda Ilestedt, one of the few that are there. Again, scored one against South Africa, 2 times against Italy. Anderson, the arm up, left-footed into the box, punched away by Nair. Goes towards the back post. Rolfa and Angeldal fighting against Fox to get it. Fox ends up winning it out with Crystal Dunn, who sends it up towards Rodman. Rodman trying to go on the attack, goes down. Free kick US. And with that, Frappard is going to call over the guilty culprit. It's going to be Ellen Rubinson. Again, good reach up by Alyssa Nair to be at the right place, right time. So here's Dunn again. Lifted up, cleared away there by Ilstedt. Trying to find Morgan. Ertz. Back towards Nair. Nair once again just has to boot this forward. Moonball continues. Haran will knot it down right towards Anderson. Rolfa scooped out once again towards her left back. Ball back towards goal. 10 minutes through this one, so still got plenty of ways to go. 35 plus stoppage time before the first half whistle. Still 0-0 between this one, but chances nonetheless on both sides. Sweden with the corner kick. U.S. with a shot from Andy Sullivan. Kinnaird. Rolfa back with Kinnaird. Couldn't keep it in on the touchline. Throw in United States. Done to take the throw in here. Nobody really checking into the ball. Now there's probably some options, but nonetheless, looks like Dunn will have to go long on this throw-in. And now Sullivan with the check-in. Sullivan pressed off the ball there for a while by Aslani. Now she's taken down by Aslani and will earn a free kick. So automatically, the physicality going in favor of Sweden, but the foul is going in favor of the U.S. So, but that does play a role, though. Would you rather be the team that is committing the fouls and showing their presence, or would you rather be the team that is being fouled? You're getting those free kicks. And again, it depends on which side of the pitch it happens. If it's in the attacking side, that could be a set piece opportunity. If it's in the defensive side, not so much. Sonnet tried to pick it off, and now it will be Angeldal drawing the free kick. Sonnet to call for it. Again, the biggest thing I've noticed is the fact that Emily Sonnet is almost playing like a defensive midfielder at this rate. So it's almost like she and Julie Ertz have been sharing that role. Of course, Sullivan playing more in the 8 role, Haran playing more of the 10. And I said it against Portugal, and I'll say it again. This team has looked best when Lindsay Haran plays like a number 10. She's getting at the ball. She's pressing forward. All those great things. With Bjorn on the right, deflected with Dunn. Now with Smith. Back at midfield. Got out by Kinnaird. Smith to pick it up on the counter. Back with Morgan. Morgan going to have to dribble. Numbers going back. She tried flipping it to the other side for Rodman, and Rodman ended up overrunning it, but she will run back to keep it in play. Good work. Sullivan. Haran. Back with Sullivan. Pointing out some options. Goes back towards midfield with Girma. Girma will cut. Finds Sonnet. Sonnet back with Girma again. Sonnet's been making appearances for this team now for about 5 or so years. Girma again, one of the more experienced players on the squad. Sonnet with the last touch was trying to send it out wide, throwing for Sweden. And Peter Gerhardsen looking on at this Swedish side, has faced the United States a few times in a major tournament. In the last 5 meetings at a major tournament, if I'm not mistaken, that includes 2016, 2020 Olympics, and the last three Women's World Cups. So that's how long they've been facing each other. Although this is the first time these two are facing each other at the knockout stage. They usually face each other in the group stage. One back by Haran, out with Sonnet, and now Smith on the left. Smith with a good cut with Morgan back towards Smith. Smith now to pass it out right for Fox. She has to send out right. Right side of the pitch now. Fox still going. She'll go end line. Attempts to cross it. It eventually just has to be cleared by Eriksson. And Sweden still yet to make an official clearance, but nonetheless, a foul call there. I believe it was on Sullivan as Anderson went down. Free kick for the Swedes. But again, a good chance nonetheless. I think more importantly, you're seeing the consistency. You're seeing the pace. You're seeing the pace. I think you're seeing the sacrifice too, right? With Trinity Rodman, when the ball goes out, she's running to get that ball because you don't know if it's going towards Sweden. You don't know if it's going out. You don't see if it's going for a throw in. You know that this team is at the right place at the right time to get something forward. 15th minute, still 0-0 between Sweden and the United States, but chances on both sides to get something and break that deadlock. Here's Sonnet, Girma, out wide for Fox. Fox with Sonnet, back with Fox. Pressured there for a little while, now laid off towards Girma again. Back in the defensive half with some green grass ahead of her. She'll take that space, clipped out wide, flicked on by Haran, who was trying to send it out towards Rodman, but Anderson with the flick back. Fox, Sonnet, Ertz. Midfield on the right-hand side. Rodman again, down the right. Cut out by Sweden, throw in United States. Haran, Sonnet back with Haran. In some space, played in low, cut away by Eriksson, further cleared by Anderson. And you can tell this team is just hungry for chances. And you got good options off the bench if needed, but they're patiently waiting on this one too. Big match in U.S.'s history. Again, a lot of people talked about, yes, this U.S. team has won back-to-back, and they especially talked about it in 2019, but they said, watch what happens in 2023 when the women's game starts to grow. We've seen a lot of big powerhouses fall, as that's headed away by Eriksson. Maybe a chance for Sweden to counter. Asllani couldn't play it out towards Kanerd, throw in for the U.S. back at midfield. Girma. Pass towards Ertz. Not playing left center back, or right center back. Ertz. Girma again. Clipped up. Headed out there by Kanerd, who, again, couldn't keep it in play. So another throw-in for the U.S. Back with Smith. Now with Haran. Into some space. 35 out. Out towards Rodman. Rodman played it in low. And that's cleared away by Eriksson. Fox was the closest in the area. Rodman. Back towards Ertz. The bright lights, the bright stars, trying to show it here on this, what is a Sunday night in Melbourne. One team fighting to keep their crown as they've done for the past 8 years. The other team trying to snatch it away as they've done it before in the Olympics. Ertz, Girma. Done, couldn't keep it. Asllani lost it, and they're going to call Dunn for having the last poke. But again, chances galore for the United States, and again, a different type of play. But now this is when the match starts to change. Maybe there's a chance here. Rodman into some space. 25 out. Rodman now, edge of the box. Shot punched away by Musovic. First shot on target, and Trinity Rodman with an absolute firecracker. And that's the type of energy that needs to get Sweden or gets Sweden on their heels, and more importantly, US on the front foot. And that was just what I was exactly about to say. Fun fact. Moran lost it there. Back with Blackstenius and Sweden the other way. That was exactly what I was going to say before that was how did they get these chances throughout the match and not just in the first 15, 20 minutes? Because eventually the other team is going to figure you out, right? Well, this too. You got Jennifer Fox. She started in goal for a lot of them for the match against Argentina. Musovic starting against United States today. 13th appearance for her. Back with Sweden. Aslani with the turn. She's got space. Feeds it in towards Blackstenius. Off the turn. Shot blocked there by Ertz. Still chances nonetheless. Rofa now on the edge. Cut out. Looks like there was no deflection, so throw in for the U.S. So throw in once again. Chances galore for both sides. So Musovic, I should stand corrected. Musovic is not making her first appearance of this Women's World Cup. Bjorn is, Angeldal is. Pardon me, even Angeldal is not doing it. So it's really just Bjorn. Not even Bjorn. Okay. My apologies. I don't know what I was thinking in these notes, but I'm wrong on both occasions. You know what it might have been? It might have been players that have done. That must have been, yeah. So really, there's only one player on the squad who has yet to feature at this tournament, and that's being Emblem. That's it. Meanwhile, Sweden, attacking area. Ertz to knock it out. That's going to be a corner kick. As we're 20 minutes through here from Melbourne Rectangular Stadium, Sweden and the U.S. tied 0-0. I'm Mihir Sinhasan. Thanks for tuning in on this Sunday morning, an early one here on the West Coast. It's about 2:30. If you're on the East Coast, it's probably a little bit better, more like 5:30, but don't get much of an opportunity to go back to bed after this is said and done. For Pacific Coast people, definitely the case. More importantly, Sweden with the corner kick on the left side of the pitch for them. Stephanie Frappart will talk to players from both sides. This time it will be Ilstedt and Sonnet. And Ilstedt standing with about 5'11 or so. One of the tallest players on the pitch right now. The women's game, that's a pretty tall height. As Aslani lofts it in towards Nair. She has to punch it away. It was right at her goal line, really. And now it will be a foul called on the Swedes. Yeah, had a good swing. Could have been an Olympico had nobody touched it. Just had that kind of dip on the ball and, more importantly, that kind of curve. And Nair with the good chance. Good chance parried away. What you want to see out of a goalkeeper, again, was a starter in 2019 after the craziness that happened with Hope Solo, who was starter in 2011, starter in 2015. Here's Aslani. Strangled there for a while, and it should earn a free kick, and indeed it will be. Sonnet again. This time caught up, called for the foul. And she was grabbing towards Aslani's captain's armband, which he tends to wear. So it's another set piece for the Swedes. Looked rather dangerous today. This time it will be Anderson going over to take it with her left boot. So you got Aslani with the right. You got Anderson with the left. You got to listen there, trying to line up her defense. Back again with Anderson. Sophia Smith, the only woman in the wall for the United States. Whistle blows from Stephanie Frappart. She'll settle some things in the middle of the tussle, which stands at the edge of the box. Now whistle blows. Anderson, left-footed, towards the back post. That one's headed up, and a further header away by Sullivan. Another pip out by Rodman. Much to the U.S. cheers. Resent in, and Girma with another clearance. Rodman going over the top, and actually the foul will be called for her. Again, Trinity Rodman started the match against Vietnam and Netherlands, did not get the start against Portugal. And that one was Lynn Williams making her appearance. Williams is still available off the bench. When many players thought that Rodman would need to get at least some sort of momentum going in this attack. Looks like she might be okay here as we're in the 24th. Looks like she's gonna shake off the one left hand. Melissa Nair got some talkings as she went over to the bench. Maybe some tactical things, and she's gonna share that with Rodman. Actually, it's not necessarily a tactical thing, just really something to take. I don't know. Don't know exactly what it was, but it looked like a cough drop when I saw. Meanwhile, Morgan and Smith getting some instructions from Vlatko. So now it's a free kick for the U.S. Fox will play back towards Nair, and that's how we resume play. It was Girma, Dunn, the left, circling around. She tried lofting it forward, lost her footing, and it's out with the Swedes throwing on the right-hand side. Bjorn Aslani back with Bjorn. Might have been deflected, but it finds the feet of Dunn. Back with Girma. Dunn again. Sana was calling for it. She decides to go up pitch towards Smith. Cleared out there by Bjorn. Throw in U.S. Again, and that's an interesting point on the left wing side, is you've got someone like Smith running through. Sometimes Morgan, who headed this one up. How do you work around this chance? Morgan, Dunn, Sonnet on the left, trying to keep it at play again. And this is the one thing, it's not as bad as the other matches we've seen the U.S. play, but you can tell they're starting to get into a pedestrian rhythm, and that's not exactly what you want. Smith sees this out. Angeldal, is the one who went down, thrown for the U.S., back with Girma at midfield, and now in the back with Ertz. Almost feels like you've got Ertz and Fox playing center backs onto themselves. Girma playing a little bit farther, and then you've got Crystal Dunn who's playing really high up. Ball given back to the U.S. Here's Rodman now on the right, up against Anderson. Rodman now inside the box. Shot, safe there. Rebound goes towards Smith. She tried getting a shot off, but it was cleared away right before she could get it. I believe by Ilstedt, but again, Trinity Rodman, we talked about the physicality. She showed it there. A run from about 40 yards out into the box. A good fiery shot. Again, this team not trying to go too wingery, rather direct. I mean, Rodman could have played it in towards Morgan, but if you have the chance, you might as well take it. That's the philosophy right now. And again, it's the type of energy the United States needs in this squad. And in this match, more importantly. Fox up against Rolfa. She'll play it back towards Ertz in the back line. 27th minute, still 0-0 between Sweden and the United States. The winner facing Japan. So you either have a rematch of the 2011 and 2015 finals if the United States make it, and if Sweden makes it, then you got some other interesting matchups there, knowing that Sweden, third best team in the world. Dunn on the left, out with Sophia Smith further on the left. Now once again, edge of the box, right foot across. She slipped on the pitch. It's now the second American to slip on the pitch when trying to get a ball forward. Rodman, Horan, back with Rodman, edge of the box, left-footed, wide. But again, good chance again by Rodman. And you can tell this team is starting to get into another dimension of passing. You're not just trying to play direct. You're going 1-2. Showed there with Haran. Another good chance for Rodman. And Trinity Rodman, again, she is related to the former NBA player Dennis Rodman. In fact, she is his daughter. Highest paid player in the NWSL right now, too. And one of the highest players overall when it comes to women's soccer. About $2 million net worth already. It's pretty good. And I think it seems like, yes, the way the tables are turning, they want to be so sure that is the NWSL that she is the face, right? Alex Morgan, even though she split her time between NWSL and some European leagues, she's always been the face wherever she's gone, right? Alex Morgan, Megan Rapinoe, you take it. Speaking of Morgan, midfield now, she's got some ways. Plays through towards Sophia Smith. Now, edge of the box. Now she's in the box now. Goes end line, trying to get a cross off. Still hurtling around. Smith staying with the ball. Finds Haran, taken off there by Eriksson. Ilstedt to clear it out of the box. Pressure continues. It's brought back here by Fox. Sullivan could not get the touch. Dunn can't get it back. And here come the Swedes on the counter. Here's Kanerd going forward. Dunn on the trying to track back in recovery. Now towards Aslani. You've got Blackstenius in the blocks. Aslani back towards Blackstenius. Cut away by Ertz. Cleared away by Sonnet. Back again. Angeldal in the area. And Sonnet will poke it away. Blaze will slow down for a while. Smith out of Dunn. And again, another chance for the U.S. to regroup. Automatically, it's almost like video game style. You bring one guy out of position. You think that he's going to be the guy to get you forward. But instead, it's the other team getting in the counterattack, and they have a good chance at goal. Ertz, Girma. 30th minute, still 0-0 between Sweden and the United States. I talked about this earlier, and again, I could be wrong about this. But the fact that you have a team like Sweden that's hurtling forward, that's attacking, I'm trying to figure out the last time the United States won a knockout match where they were actually down and they came back to win. I don't know if that's few and far to come by. That might be tough if it ends up happening. Meanwhile, Morgan plays it through to Haran to head it back, and there was a great header there by Ilestedt again. Actually, might have been a track back there. Nonetheless, Eriksson and Ilestedt have been pretty solid defensively. It's not for them. U.S. might have a good chance and may be up 1-0 right now. Here's Fox going forward. Cut back towards Sonnet. Sonnet, long ball to flip over towards Smith, a little behind her, and Smith cannot get a touch. Throw in Sweden. So now to find out the one question that's been kind of eating at me for a little while, to be honest with you. When was the last time the United States won a match where they were actually down? I know that did not happen in 2019. They were in front of every match they played. If anything, they allowed an equalizer. And that only happened, I'm trying to think. I don't know. Well, nonetheless, Fox, back in 2023, number 23 for the U.S., Fox, back towards Ertz. There's Girma. Now it looks like that's Fox again on the right. Now, the U.S. did beat Brazil in penalties in 2011, but the U.S. were the ones that scored the first goal really earlier on, take it 1-0. But then Brazil got a 2-1 lead in extra time, and then the Hail Mary happened. Alex Morgan to Abby Wambach. Sonnet. Now it's Smith in the middle of the pitch. Still finding some ways. Tried getting it towards Morgan. Knocked down, cleared away. Sullivan with the recovery forward. Trying to find Morgan again. Another knockout, this time by Ilestedt. Björn back towards Sonnet. The American attack and possession, more importantly, continues. Sonnet again. Now with Haran. Out with Rodman on the right. Rodman against Anderson. Rodman now. Cross deflected. Corner kick U.S. So the last time the US won a knockout stage match where they're actually trailing was 1999. Right, I should say they won a knockout stage match where they allowed the first goal. It was actually an own goal by Brandy Chastain. They're able to right the ship. And again, that was the only match for quite a while. The one of the few matches where a Women's World Cup player scored a goal and an own goal in the same match. Again, Laia Codina added herself to that category in the Switzerland-Spain matchup. Nonetheless, ball sent into the box, header by Haran just over the bar. And if it's not for a great save again by Musovic, that's 1-0. So close, and Haran knows it. Again, it might have been off the crossbar, you think about it. Just over. Lindsay Horan, a menace there. Yeah, off the crossbar. Musovic didn't get a touch to it. The bench knows it too. They thought they got the breakthrough. And Musovic was down. Now she's got hands on knees. That's pretty much it. She's able to get up and be okay. So yeah, you think about it, in US and knockout stage history, that is the only time they have ever allowed a goal and came back to win the match. That's it. That's it. And that was an own goal. So if you're counting goals that were scored against the other team, it's not a good record. 0 wins. We'll put it that way. 0 wins. So that shows you how important the first goal is for the United States, if anything. As Musovic will send it forward. Looks like she's got some cramping. Even on the goal kick, she was wincing a little bit. Foul called as Haran was held. So now you got United States in the attack here in the 35th minute. And Musovic dealing with some injuries for her own. Continues to stay in. Again, you've got Falk off the bench, who started the match against Argentina. Musovic brought back in. Sonnet back with Girma in some space. Girma, long ball forward, looking towards Haran, headed away. Knocked around. Rodman to bring it back. Sullivan. Haran back to Sullivan. Oh, she's looking for some space. She'll just pass it out towards Fox. Now to Haran on the right. Haran about 25 yards out on the right-hand side. Emily Fox at the edge. Now it's Sonnet. Open space. Clipped out on the left. Here's Dunn. On the left again. This time going up against Bjorn. Sonnet. Nifting around. Goes down. No foul called. Slani in the clear in terms of the fouls. Back towards Girma. Most of the match has been played for the most part in Sweden's half for the most while. Sonnet back with Girma. That stays the way for now. Across to the other side, out with Fox now. Emily Fox has been all over the pitch, really. Sometimes she's playing as far back as the center back. Sometimes she's playing as far forward as some of the midfielders, and even like Trinity Rodman at times. Girma with the long ball sent, and Musovic able to catch that one. Yeah, Naomi Girma, to that point, you talk about the different specialties. Naomi Girma with a great long ball into the box. Just couldn't really work it there, but 37th, yeah, good game on our hands, I'll tell you that. Good match. It's been back and forth. I don't know what you expect to some extent from a match between two teams in the top 3, according to FIFA's rankings. Girma dribbling. Smith with a good check-in. She's got some space in the middle. Options both sides. Goes out to Rodman on the right. Rodman's in some space. A shot sent in and deflected away. And I actually think that might have been deflected off of Rubinson. But again, Trinity Rodman with acres of space on the right-hand side. And again, with a great telling chance. Get out. Come on, stream. There we go. Sometimes you got to be patient with it. Nonetheless, corner kick. Sophia Smith to take it. Taking it short now. Sonnet to Haran. Back to it Smith. Smith crossed in low. Easily cleared by Ilestedt. Now with Fox on the right. Fresh off the recovery. US able to spread it around. Fox will go forward with the ball here. Fox playing through. Here's Ertz dancing around. Back with Rodman to swing it in. Morgan now to Sonnet. Haran can't get there in time. Cleared away. And now foul will be called in the box. I believe it'll be offside actually. Again, so many back and forths. Credit to Stephanie Frappart for because overall officiating in this Women's World Cup has been pretty consistent. They're going to call Morgan offside here. I don't really know why you get the offside flag up, but all right, no worries. 39th. Musovic sends forward, headed back by Ertz. Dribbled out. Anderson, now Rolfa on the left. Again, couldn't keep it in play. And the U.S. take it. Possession so far in favor of the Stars and Stripes, 59% for them, only 41% for Sweden. They've also had the shots and shots on goals, 5 and 2 of them testing Zasira Musovic. Again, Trinity Rodman, basically the mastermind behind all of those right now. And again, Sweden with a couple of chances, but none of them really bothering Alyssa Nair. Girma. Now to Fox again. Able to control it there. This is a good control with Rolfo right in front of her. Good first touch. Girma. Going towards the left-hand side. Another loft forward, looking towards Crystal Dunn on the left. Can she get there in time? She's able to pip it up in the air, brought down by Morgan. And now I think the referee, yes, Stephanie Frappart will say the ball did cross the end line there. A good chance for the United States. Now here's the other interesting thing, and obviously there's a lot of matches. Japan, Spain at the Men's World Cup was this type of talk. That although Dunn was able to get a touch on it with the ball in the air, it was technically out of bounds when you look at it from an aerial view. And even from a linear view as well, it looked pretty out of bounds itself. So 40 minutes through, still 0-0 between Sweden and the United States. Here from Melbourne Rectangular Stadium, Rodman with the flick through, trying to find Smith. Ilstedt with the clear again. And Alex Morgan again running through the middle. She hasn't got too many touches, but it could be big whenever she gets it. Haran now on the right-hand side. Tries to feed it in with Morgan. Connection between the two U.S. co-captains. Morgan deflected by Rolfa. Throw in U.S. Fox to take. Rodman. Back with Fox. Haran. U.S. have been not necessarily congested, but they like to focus the triangles toward the wings. We've seen on both sides. Fox again. A good connection on that right. Haran, Fox, and Rodman. Speaking of Rodman, there she is. On the right-hand side. Back with Haran. Haran crossed in, headed up by Eriksson, out of play. Corner kick for the U.S. again. Again, last time we saw it, Lindsey Haran banged one off the crossbar. That was a good overlapping run, too. Lindsey Haran starting to show up. Co-captain armband on her. She's looked like the best out there. Short corner with Girma. Back out with Sullivan. Sullivan, long ball sent in towards Ertz. Another chance. Shot saved. A rebound is eventually cleared by Ilestedt before a rebound could be put up. Picked up by Smith. Dunn. Ertz. Into some space. It's a 1-on-3. Poked away by Aslani. Throw in U.S. And Musovic continues to be tested. Morgan tried getting a flick on the ball on that chance in the box. And again, Musovic came barreling out to, at the very least, parry it away if it wasn't to push or punch. Ertz. Girma back at midfield. The United States, again, been tested a lot. Rather, they've been the ones testing Sweden. Fox back towards Anderson. Rubinson with a rough touch. Back with her again. Back with Eriksson. Sends it forward. Out on the end line. Touch line, rather. Last touched off Fox. Throw in there. Peter Gerhardt's inside for some moments have looked second best. Could they get something on a counter here? Again, 2 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in this first half. Morgan with the good interception there as Anderson and Rubenson were trying to connect. Back with the Eriksson. Last touch off Haran, throwing Sweden around midfield. Left wing again. Anderson. Rodman. Oh, she's able to keep it in play. Swede down, but play continues. Here's Morgan now trying to play through to Smith. Again, Smith can't get a touch. But Morgan again playing false nine, doing it well, and now play will be called back for Jonna Anderson being down on the pitch, face down. I don't think there was much. Might have been something non-contact, and looked like maybe she got a little elbow to the mouth. If anything, I think it was more of a flop to stop play. Nonetheless, Rodman will check out Anderson to see if she's okay. Again, doesn't look good though. If she's lying down, face down on the ground, Rofa will also check out. But again, enough of speculation. She needs some treatment. 45th minute, United States getting some drinks on the sideline. Sweden will probably do the same as well. 0-0 in this one. Again, a rivalry that does not need much introduction from both sides. For the United States, this is their 43rd meeting against Sweden. The only times they have faced a team more are against Canada, China, and Norway. Again, Canada, neighbors, obviously. China, perennial powerhouses since the 90s. Same goes to Norway. In those 42 meetings, the United States leads the series with 23 wins, 12 draws, and 7 losses. This is their 7th meeting at the Women's World Cup. At the WWC, US has gone 4-1-1. But you had a loss in 2011, 2-1, and then a draw, scoreless one in 2015. Played each other in the group stage in 2019, and that time it was US winning 2-0. But, as I mentioned, in competitive play, when you look at 2011 Women's World Cup, the 2016 Olympics, 2015 Women's World Cup, the 2020 Olympics, and the 2019 Women's World Cup, the past 5, it's a little bit more nuanced, you could say. US won in 2019, as I said, but a loss to Sweden in 2020 at the Olympics, a loss to Sweden in 2011 at the Women's World Cup, and then 2 draws, one in 2015 and then a draw in 2016. That was a knockout stage game, much like this one. Ended up 1-all at the end of 120 minutes, and because it was a knockout stage game decided on penalties, where the U.S. ended up losing. So, again, I like to be old-fashioned, so in the sense that if a match is going to penalties, it counts as a draw. Right? 2 minutes of stoppage time. We're about a minute through already. Looks like Anderson was able to get up and get some treatment. Unaware if she is out on the pitch. I don't think she is right now. Nonetheless, plays back. Musovic with the ball in her hands. She'll roll it out. Once again, another long kick coming this way. And there she goes. Headed back by Fox. Haran. Sullivan missed the header. Able to bring it down. Out with Haran. Haran on the right. Poked away by Rubenson. Throwing U.S. Maybe a few more chances. A few dozen of seconds or so before the referee will call for first half. And Stephanie Frappart is known for the big stage. I believe she called, or rather refereed, the 2019 Women's World Cup final in France, her native country. Fox down the line, and that's it for the first half here from Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. Sweden and the United States still tied 0-0, but many chances on both sides, especially from Trinity Rodman of the United States on the right. Will Rodman and the United States be back? Will they take the lead in the second half, or will Sweden find a way to answer back? I'll take a quick break, and we'll be back for the second half here from my studio in Phoenix, commentating on this match in Melbourne right after this. Halftime here between Sweden and the United States. It is still deadlocked, but many chances, and a lot of them going in the Stars and Stripes' favor right now. Again, Trinity Rodman with many of them finding some open space on the right hand side. Shots from distance, shots inside the box. That right foot of hers has become more dangerous as this match has gone along. She's played, I think, her best from what we've seen from the first two matches we saw her start. Lindsay Horan with a great chance bringing the ball off the crossbar. And there was Rodman again flicked on, but it was actually Rubinson. Had that gone in, that would have been an own goal. And that leaves us 0-0 at the half. Again, so many chances for the United States with about five shots, two of them on target. I'm trying to look at my phone for a second. Hold on. I need to find one thing. I talked about this before that the United States, save for that 3-2 win against Germany in the 1999 quarterfinals, that is the only time this team has ever won from being That's the only time they've ever won a knockout stage after being originally down. Now I'm trying to do the opposite, which is to check whenever they've gotten the first goal, have they stayed with the lead? Okay. 2000. Okay. So basically, it's what I said earlier. Every time the United States has scored the first goal, they've ended up winning the match. It's been as simple as that. Whenever they have allowed the first goal, save for that one time, 1999 against Germany, they've lost. It has been literally like that for this entire tournament with this team. It's been how it is, it's been how it was, and it's probably how it's going to go. So it shows you, one, that what the United States is doing, it's down the stretch, right? Alexi Lalas and a lot of the commentators talked about it, that whoever gets on the attack first, whoever shows that they're worthy of getting that quarterfinal spot against Japan is going to be the team that ends up winning, and in this regards, ends up going to the knockouts in the quarterfinals. And you look at it from an odds perspective, instead of, of course, the sportsbook I'm using, Flip Sportsbook, plus 105 right now for a draw, plus 110 for a U.S. win in regulation, that is, and a plus 4 or 5 for Sweden. So that's been how it's been for a while. Again, I'm Mihir Sinhasan. Thanks for tuning in on what is a Sunday morning. We're now about an hour into this broadcast. Again, interesting chances on both sides. An interesting Women's World Cup in general. Start off with Spain beating Switzerland 5-1 at Eden Park, and then Japan beating Norway 3-1. So the favorites coming out thundering on both sides. Then you had Netherlands against South Africa earlier today. Netherlands winning 2-0. Then you have this. Now, according to the betters, U.S. are the favorites in this one. But according to the seedings, it's Sweden. Now, this also happened yesterday too, where Switzerland was the higher seed, but Spain had the odds overall, and they were the ones to officially kind of press, get the movements going, and truly show their dominance. Still at halftime, trying to see if everything's working right now. Nobody in the chat, nobody there. So, a pretty slow day at the office. Almost 3 a.m. on the West Coast. East Coast, a little bit better. Looks like we're going to be back for the second half in probably a few minutes or so. A lot of chances, a lot of things going forward. Question is, who ends up winning it in the end? How to do the B roll. How to do the B roll. And tell the intensity is up. Poets are back out. Well, I'll tell you what. If this was a poetry session, if this was a movie, this would have drama and action written all over it. Action and adventure for the way these players have remained creative on the ball, creative in their chances, but nonetheless remain true to their craft. They want the action, they want the physicality, they want the drama of going forward. They want the drama of knocking a big team out. They want the drama to truly show they are contenders. Which leads me to my next point. Going into this knockouts, that's actually the first time in a while the United States are not the outright favorites to win. It's actually France, the 19.4% chance. They start off their knockout stage campaign against Morocco. England is in second with 18.7%. US is at 17.7%. Now, a little bit down the list is Sweden, but you could very much say, especially based off the rankings and knowing the fact that Germany, the number two team in the world, is out of the Women's World Cup, did not make it to the knockout stage, that whoever makes it is essentially the favorite for the rest of the tournament. And it kind of shows you how big this game matters for both sides and for this tournament in general. And again, you think about Sweden, you think about the United States. Going into this Women's World Cup, too, you have only two teams in the round of 16 currently that have won the Women's World Cup before. Only Japan and the United States. That's it. Japan and the United States is it. And the United States go on to win this. They're going to be facing Japan in the quarterfinals. So, in other words, you're going to have three teams in the semifinals that have never won, and one team that has. Both teams back out on the pitch. Again, I can check this again, but to my knowledge, no substitutions at half. Blackstenius still holding on in the middle. Again, coaches have changed throughout the times. Again, both of them have had a coach that have coached both squads. Of course, Pia Sundhage, the current Brazilian head coach, who coached the U.S. in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and then eventually coached her native Sweden in the mid 2010s. Again, led Sweden to a silver medal in 2016, got two gold medals for the United States in 2008 and 2022. No Women's World Cup, and that still remains true for Sweden. For the United States, they're trying to pull off the three-peat as we're back underway here at Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. Now, the question is for the United States, can they keep up the momentum in the first half? Because this is what a halftime break can do to you, right? You can go into autopilot and say, we're all good. And the other team can say, no, we're not. We need to attack farther. We need to get more physical. And the tables can turn, right? We've seen it in a bunch of matches. I think the first thing that comes to mind is U.S. men's team against Wales in the World Cup last year, where it was all U.S. in the first half, and then it was all Wales in the second half. And in the end, it ended out 1-1. To the back now for Amanda Ilstedt. Left back for Jonna Anderson. Pardon me, it's Magdalena Eriksson. Anderson needs some treatment towards the end of the first half. It looks like she is still on the pitch. As Natalie Bjorn sends it forward. A little too far for Stina Blackstenius. Alyssa Nair will see this out. It won't go into the box. So thus seeing it out for a goal kick. And Alyssa Nair, as I mentioned, started for a while out towards Naomi Girma. Trying to loft it forward. Trying to find Alex Morgan, her San Diego Wave teammate. Smith hurdles forward, knocked out by Bjorn. Looks like Morgan's changed from long sleeve to short sleeve. So that's a little indication there for any of those watching the match. Yeah, a good crew. Good crew calling the game today. Andres Cantor, Natalia Astre, and Manuel Sol for Telemundo. That's the stream I'm watching. I'm not watching Fox's stuff. I know they've been under fire a little while. Let's put it that way. Over the past few editions, I know in the Men's World Cup they were definitely under fire. Nonetheless, back with Sweden's back line. Eriksson. Bjorn. Up towards Joanna Kanyerd. Nerd. Out on the touchline, throwing for Sweden. 48th minute from Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. Trying to find Kosovar Slani. Up by Crystal Dunn. Chested down by Alex Morgan. Couldn't get it back. Now chance here. Fridolino Rofa lost the ball. Trinity Rodman caught up in a block out towards Emily Fox. Fox attempting to swiggle her way out with Andy Sullivan on the right, now officially on the right flank for Lindsay Horan. Picks her head up, trying to play through for Sophia Smith, and the dummy didn't work to perfection. Thought Emily Fox was a little bit closer as the ball was sent long forward towards Blackstenius. Ertz with a nifty pirouette to touch it around. She's taken down, and that's going to be a free kick. Aslani called for the foul there, and she was called for a foul earlier in the match. It might be a yellow card. In my opinion, that should be a yellow card. I mean, although it was more of the case of Ertz getting a touch on the ball before Aslani. And now the yellow card's coming out. A little talk there between Ertz and Aslani. And Sweden's captain will be getting the first booking of the day. Didn't get a chance to see who was on a yellow for Sweden going into this one. For US, you had Sophia Smith, Lindsay Horan, and Naomi Girma, I believe. Could be wrong. I don't know. Girma decides to loft it forward. Knocked out by Bjorn. Out and towards the end, Girma, or rather Crystal Dunn, able to keep this in place somehow. Out towards Sophia Smith on the left. Numbers coming forward. Smith lays it off towards Horan, who has to track back a little bit to get it. Nonetheless, fighting to do so. Rolfa, who tracked back in her own right, able to win the ball and the free kick. 50th minute now. Clock keeps on ticking. Again, if we are still tied, we go to extra time. If it's still tied after extra time, we go to penalty kicks. But either way, someone's got to get a ball in the back of the net to try to end this one, even if it's one penalty kick. Girma out with Dunn. Back in the U.S. defensive half. Goes with Sullivan. Sullivan dribbling around. Back towards goal and Nair. Nair now. Pressure comes by Blackstenius. Had to get it off towards Fox. Now sent with Rodman. Rodman back towards Nair again. First time boot. Fox heads it down out on the end touch line. That was throw-in for Sweden. Around the attacking third, too. Not deep in the attacking third, rather shallow. Knocked out by Lindsay Horan, and they do take two. John Anderson to take the throw-in again. Anderson knocked out there by Rodman. Horan all the way back towards Ilestedt. Out on the wing, Bjorn missed the ball there. Throw in for the U.S. What a goal would mean for this team in the next 40 minutes would be quite crucial for a team that's been known for showing their prowess at the stage many times in their history. Sophia Smith, a good turn on the ball. Out with Horan. Got options both sides. Goes to Rodman on the right. Rodman now entering the box. Rough touch there as it's knocked out by Anderson. Corner kick, though. Again, Trinity Rodman, I tell you. I remember thinking to myself as someone who, and don't hate on me for saying this, but someone who doesn't watch a lot of NWSL, I said, how in the world is Trinity Rodman the highest paid player in that league? Well, we're starting to see it today. She's the best player on the pitch amongst the 22 there. Now the big bodies are back in. Tall trees need their fruit to grow. They need the water to grow. They need the service to grow. And Sullivan provides it into the box, punched away by Musovic. Smith couldn't get a touch to it. Fox tracking back, paced back towards Girma. Back with Fox again. Lofted back posts are running Ertz. Actually taken there by Morgan. Now goes towards Ertz, who lofts it into the box. Goes past everybody there. Last touched by a Swede, I believe. And Fox, nonetheless, will track it on the right-hand side. Going up against Anderson. Right back against left back. Sullivan. Fox again. Smith. Oh, Smith with a good turn on the ball. Couldn't pass it into the box. Ertz. Dunn. Out on the wing. Julia, or rather Horan, Into the box. Too far. On the other side now for Fox. Fox on the right. Good right shot, and it's just saved. Lindsey Horan with a fiery one. Fiery service either way by Fox. And another great save by Musovic. And I think Lindsey Horan at this point is wondering how she does not have a goal. That's a great save by Musovic. How in the world did you get first time? And that's a good shot. That's fiery. It probably went at least 100 kilometers an hour. At least 100 kilometers an hour. So nonetheless, another corner kick. 54th minute. Sullivan once again to take. Crossed in. Musovic with a punch back post. Smith first time shot. Defended rather more of a cross in that regards. Back with Sullivan on the right. Oh, with a nifty turn. Sullivan left-footed. Ertz can't get ahead to it. Now a chance here for a break. Conair trying to do that. Guillermo will shut that down. Smith into the box. Caught by Musovic. And Musovic with the easy layoff there towards Conair. Angeldal. Aslani. Here come the Swedes the other way. Rolfa on the left. Rolfa trying to do nifty turns against Fox. Angeldal. Bjorn. Angeldal again. Service into the box, cleared by Ertz. And then back all the way towards Eriksson. Magdalena Eriksson forward. Blackstenius on the left against Ertz. With Rolfa. Rolfa able to hold off Rodman. Now into the middle. Oh, it's a good chance for a while by Angeldal. Jakobsen. Rather, Anderson. Jakobsen isn't in the game right now. Rolfa cross. Ertz deflected out. Smart by her. Nonetheless, second chance. That's headed away by Girma. U.S. smart there to not allow a handball as Ertz put both arms behind her back. Redirection caught there by Nair. It's an easy goal kick. Back with Ertz again. And Ertz sends it back towards Fox. 56 minutes, still 0-0 between Sweden and the United States. Again, two teams with a lot to play for in this one. What is now quite a usual coincidence. I mean, it's almost tradition now. It's not a Women's World Cup if the U.S. and Sweden don't play each other. And it turns out to be an absolute close game, or at the very least, a statement game down the stretch. And I felt the same way about today, as Sullivan sends a long ball forward, looking towards Morgan. Headed up by Morgan, and Horan will be the first to track it down. Towards the right inside, cut out by Anderson before it could find Rodman. Throwing U.S., but still attacking third. Mostly in favor of this team right now. I mean, it's looked in favor of the United States. And that's a good thing. I mean, the way this team's changed has been impressive. Horan now inside the box, first time volley, and that's wide. You can tell, oh my word. Lindsey Horan, the Lyon midfielder, playing like one of the best in the world right now. A great chance. It's a service in by Fox. First off, a great service. Bouncing ball. Horan strikes it perfectly, and Musovic has the perfect response to parry it away. Nothing more you can say there than good job, because that's a tough save. 57th now. Morgan, left back with Rolfa. Morgan to touch it again. Out with Rodman. Now with Horan. Nifty turn, trying to play through towards Smith, a little too far as Musovic collects. But again, the chances keep on coming for the United States. You cannot deny that overall. They've got some great options off the bench. Of course, Alex Morgan, 121 goals for her. That's fifth overall. As Sweden try to get something attacking the other way. Here's Sonnet. Lofted over towards the right. Now towards Fox. Fox now in some space. Now with Ertz. Ertz now with Girma. We've got a few players that are playing with their teammates against Girma, looking for San Diego Wave teammates, and sets played off towards Emily Sonnet. Done. Now with San Diego Wave teammate Alex Morgan. Haran out with Trinity Rodman. Haran gets it back, edge of the box towards the center, too. Now she's forced back there by Rubinson. Fox again. Ertz in the back line. Clip forward, trying to find Ertz again. Out towards Rodman. Finds it there after the clearance. Rodman, oh, what skill. Inside the box, crossed in. Can't find Morgan. Deflected out. Rodman plays it from the corner. Back with Haran. Fox again. Now it's her time to put on the dancing shoes, but plays it back towards Haran. Nonetheless, still at the edge of the box. Played through to Fox. Can she keep it in play? Yes. But the cross is fired into the side netting. Again, Fox got tripped up there. That caused the cross to be subpar. You have Megan Rapinoe behind the goal, basically doing full-on sprints right now. Again, player who's been used to her services over her time, has been playing for the U.S. women's national team for years now, more than a decade. Made her first start back in 2011 at the Women's World Cup with the side. Scored in her debut, a 3-1 win for the U.S. in Germany. 60th minute now. Still 0-0 between Sweden and the U.S. But as I said before, especially from the U.S.'s side, whoever scores first might determine who wins this match from the way this game is going. Anderson to take the throw-in now on the left-hand side. Knocked down Anderson. Blackstenius, Rolfa, Aslani. Now into some space for Kinnaird. Kinnaird tried a long-distance shot, blocked by Sonnet, and Smith will grab it back. Done. Just booted forward. Not the best pace to find neither Smith nor Morgan. Morgan now the farthest player up the pitch, so not playing that false nine role. So, or rather, she's probably exemplifying it. Aslani now on the right. Again, trying to play through with Kinnaird. Cut out by Girma again. Crystal Dunn. In the defensive third. Out with the right for Fox. Fox will go further right for Rodman, who's on the touchline. She goes back towards Ertz. Not the best pass there, as Blackstenius goes flying. The Ertz with a nifty challenge, right? Oh, my word. And again, the Swedes are asking for Stephanie Frappart to check. It looks like Blackstenius is up. Let's take a look at that. The Ertz, I think, Blackstenius was the one getting the ball. It was not necessarily a juke that Ertz did. It was really just Ertz stepping to get the ball and the ball going behind her rather than in front of her, which caused Blackstenius to flip as she did, kind of as a little bit of a juke move, if you will, but not intentional. Kinnaird's header still bounces in play. Dunn, Morgan, Haran. On the left-hand side, Dunn going forward as it enters the attacking area. Now towards Morgan on the left. Deflected cross, cleared away by Eriksson. Dunn with the chest down, kept in play. Sonnet now with the chance. Not too far to really shoot it. It's Girma. U.S. probably attempting to flip the pitch. Back with Ertz. Dunn. Some space in the left. Lifted high into the box. Rodman. It falls for Smith. Smith's in the clear. Collected by Musovic. Smith's taken down. Are we getting a penalty? No indication. Nothing. Well, either way, Morgan and Rodman were offside. But it looks like Rodman got a touch. So either way, even if it were a penalty, it would not count because Rodman got a touch to it. And she and Morgan were both offside. So either way, it wouldn't count. Now, had it been onside, I would have probably said penalty. Nonetheless, Sweden, it's not a bend but break mentality. I think mainly because of how the Swedes play, right? They have the mentality going for it, right? This was a team that was down 1-0 against South Africa and then scored 2 goals in the last 15 to win it. And at the time, it seemed like, well, Sweden's the better team, right? They're number 3 in the world. South Africa's number 54. Obviously, they can come back and win. But then we saw what South Africa did, right? Got a draw against Argentina, beat Italy, and then they played in the knockout stage earlier today, according to Australia time. Unfortunately for Banyana, lost to Netherlands 2-0. U.S. gets a chance to move on here. They would be the second team in Group E. And actually, in that regards, they would be the second group for both of the teams to win. Japan and Spain both won on a Friday, if you will. Fox hurling 4, trying to find Rofa, deflected off of Anderson as she was trying to find Rodman. And it goes back towards Musovic again. And a good connection there in the midfield with Sweden's team. Again, got players like Musovic and Kanerd, who both played for sides like Chelsea. Ilstedt, Blackstenius, both with Arsenal. They also got Hurtig, who's a seasoned veteran who was on the bench. Bjorn and Bennison on the bench there. And the fact that, too, they also don't have Caroline Sager in the game, who started off being a pretty consistent starter, especially in the holding midfielder role. We've seen Angeldal and Rubenson take the possession today in that spot. 65th minute, Sweden are on the attack. Blackstenius taken down, no foul called. Angeldal out on the right. Back for Bjorn. Rubenson. Sweden starting to gravitate towards that area. Bjorn, Angeldal. Back with Bjorn again. Back with the guys on the right. Bjorn now finding some open space. Tried getting a cross off. Girma to cut it out. She'll clear it away on the touchline. So a throw-in for Sweden. Not a corner kick. That may be important. It looks like Lynn Williams is getting ready to check in for the U.S. Will be the first change of the match. First change for the United States. And it will be Trinity Rodman coming off for the squad. That's an interesting choice there by Vlatko. I don't know about that. Rodman's looking like the best player on the pitch right now, but it looks like, obviously, with a lot of running like that, you want to try to preserve her. And again, knowing the fact that this could be a match that does go to extra time, you got Rodman to get the first 65. If it goes the distance, you got Williams to do the last 55. Headed out by Girma. Fresh off the throw-in. Take 2 for the Swedes. Kanerd. Last touched off done. Now take 3 for Jorn. Sweden, again, this is a team that's very similar to the U.S. ever since Peter Gerhardson's took over. So Slani's cut out there. Done. Sent back Morgan. Angeldal taken down. Free kick for the Swedes. This could be a dangerous position, too. And again, a very relatively unnecessary challenge there by Morgan. She's behind the ball. You've got players on that left-handed side, or at the very least, you can try to shade the Swedes. Really no need for that foul to be given there. But nonetheless, 67th minute. And now a chance for the Swedes. They haven't gotten too many chances in this one. But it feels like whenever they had, it's been a little bit alarming at most. So Slani sets the ball down. Whistle blows. After Frapar will check in the middle, make sure everything's okay. Players lined up in the heart of the box. Kosovar Slani ready to take the service on the right-hand side. About 30 yards out. Right on the flank, too. Lofted high into the box. Nair with a perfect catch. Just like Jamar Chase in the end zone. Immediately, she's going to try to roll the ball out, trying to get Lynn Williams, her first touch of the match. That's cut out there by Rubenson. And back towards goal and Musovic. You can tell majority of the crowd is in favor of the United States. As soon as this team gets on the counterattack, the team and the stadium roars to life. The only time I think I've seen the stadium more electric for a team was when Australia was playing against Canada. And obviously, this match is taking place in Australia, so makes sense. Makes sense that would happen. So corner, rather not a corner, not even close to a corner. So throw in at midfield on the right hand side. Bjorn to take as the Swedes start to maintain some sort of possession here in the 69th minute. 32 plus stoppage time left. The ball's lofted back. Ertz heads it towards Nair. And now there's a collision in the midfield. Lindsay Horan is down. And she looks to remain a little motionless as it is. Looks like Angeldal went towards the side, knee and elbow, right knee and right elbow into the left side of Horan. Looks like she still remains down on the pitch. Now, keep in mind, Trinity Rodman has been subbed out for the U.S., so that firepower on the right-hand side is gone. Now, don't get me wrong, Lynn Williams is still a good option, but it does paint the picture a little bit differently than what you would usually see. Looks like Horan is able to get up. Co-captain, still showing her leadership, still showing her physicality, and that was, of course, one of the bigger things in this tourney. I talked about Lindsay Horan's shot that she had. It was 92 kilometers an hour, so not exactly the 100 that I stated, but nonetheless, still quickly paced, still fast. Yerma, Sonnet, pressured on the ball there by Angeldal, and rightfully so, free kick. Automatically, you can tell there's a buzz in the stadium. Got 21 minutes plus stoppage time. You could see one of these two teams get a goal, or we head to extra time. One of the two. This time, Sophia Smith called for the foul there on Angeldal. Free kick. Aslani looks for options off the FK. Now she'll line up, and now will be a more formal free kick taken with numbers coming forward. Center back's coming forward too for Sweden. The more this game goes down to the wire, the more you realize each chance matters. 20 minutes plus stoppage time left. Aslani sent into the box, a little too far, brought down by Fox, cleared away as it skips all the way back towards midfield. Rubinson to redirect it back in, headed away by Horan. Morgan took a player down, no foul called. Now she goes down, no foul called there either. Rofa, Bjorn, Aslani in some space, tried feeding it Angeldal. Kanerid on the right collects. Angeldal, Aslani cut out there. Good work there by Crystal Dunn. Keeping the ball once again. Great firepower. Again, not as quick as she was in 2016 when she started getting caps, but nonetheless, experienced and quick as she is. Sonnet to Horan. Horan out with Lynn Williams. Now she'll get her first touches of the match. What can she do? Challenging Anderson on the right-hand side. She's got past, crossed into the box, and skips past. Again, good chance nonetheless, but nobody there to meet it. Low key, when you look at Rodman and then Williams, that's the speed the United States needs, where you can burst past your players, burst past into moments that matter, right? That right-hand side is looking dangerous today for the U.S. Sullivan, long ball sent forward, looking towards Williams, headed back by Anderson. Now it's Smith, 25 out. Now it's Williams, trying to play back towards Smith, kept on the end line, crossed in the middle, cleared away. Morgan challenging, back with Williams. Williams shot blocked there by Anderson. Out on the touchline, throwing United States. Stars and Stripes starting to get the possession back. Lynn Williams already making an impact too. Fox. Nutmegging Rofa there. Williams. Smith. Running around, shot taken and easily collected by Musovic. Lost her footing again. It's like I think the third American player that has lost her footing on this pitch tonight. I don't know. Maybe it's just from overworking. Again, most of these pitches, including this one, getting about 7 to 8 matches. Although, in to my knowledge, don't think. I don't think they're getting. I think Lang Park and Stadium Australia will be hosting the quarterfinal matches. So this is pretty much it when it comes to Women's World Cup for this pitch. Long ball sent forward. Rofa pressuring there to get it. Ertz sees this out. She's pushed down. Free kick should be given. Let's see. That should be a foul, honestly. Rofa is trying to get, at the very least, a deflection off of Ertz. Didn't end up happening. Corner kick didn't end up happening. Foul didn't end up happening. Girma gives it right back towards Rubinson. Rofa. Back with Rubinson. Passed out to the right now. Bjorn. And now further up here. Kanerud. Good 1-2 with Aslani. Couldn't get the second pass back, though. Here's Smith off a turn. Lost her footing again on the left-hand side. See, now it's throw in for Sweden. 16 minutes plus stoppage time left in this second half. Still scoreless between Sweden and the United States. If this does go to extra time, oh boy, we are in for a treat. Kanerud down the right-hand side. Oh, with a good move there on Dunn. Kanerud tried centering it. It's cut away by Sonnet. Dribbled all the way back. I think Aslani's trying to give some sort of communication. Maybe trying to avoid a yellow card, too, because she's the only Swedish player on a yellow card right now. That would be big for the Swedes if their captain goes down. How about Kanerud, though, on the right? Again, another stalwart in this Swedish squad, and a very experienced Swedish squad, I should say, with the amount of players that they have on there. At the very least, made appearances in 2022 at the Women's Euro. And, of course, you have a lot of stalwarts on the bench, too. Sofia Jakobsen, who played a lot of minutes. She got over 100. Same goes for Linda Sembrant, who's on the bench. As this one's played through, Morgan towards Williams. Williams to cut. Looking for some options now. Cut away by Anderson. Morgan now to the middle. Sonnet rips a shot off target. Well wide of goal. Now let's see. Again, some of the players, or rather the fans, are trying to ask if there's VAR. There is VAR at this Women's World Cup, and I think they're trying to see if Lynn Williams might have drawn a penalty there. There was a crunching tackle by Ilstedt. Neither player, Ilstedt and Anderson, were in the area. Stephanie Frappard is not going to look at it. Goal kick. Headed back by Williams. Sonic can't want to chase forward. Out with Sweden. 15 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. And at the Women's World Cup, in the past few times of the Women's World Cup, we've had a few that have gone to penalties, a few that have gone to extra time. Of course, France and Brazil went to extra time in 2019 in a very similar situation. France ended up facing the United States in the quarterfinals and ended up losing 2-1. Dunn, the header forward, headed back there by Angeldal. Girma sent it forward, and Bjorn will send it for Rubinson. Rubinson? Angeldal? Out with Blackstenius on the right. Going up against Girma. Blackstenius right on the right touchline. Last touched by Blackstenius, throwing for the U.S. And she doesn't like the call. The Swedes, who are on that side of the pitch, the attacking side for Sweden, don't like the call either. So as I said, there was only one match in the round of 16 that went to extra time. It ended up being the only match that went to extra time. You also had Norway and Australia that was decided on penalties. Ball played through Kanerud giving chase. Seen out there by Dunn. Goal kick. U.S. And so the cycle continues. Again, Peter Gerhardsen talking with his assistants This could be a big moment for Sweden too. If you want to try to add some sort of attack to, I think one, if you can stop US's attack, and then two, get something forward to help out your own cause. The biggest question I see is how does that right flank help the US? Because Sophia Smith has seen a lot of stalwartness, rather, she's been stopped. Alex Morgan has been the same way. She has yet to score a goal in this Women's World Cup. It's really just been at first Trinity Rodman and now Lynn Williams and Lindsay Horan in the midfield. Speaking of which, Horan plays out towards Williams on the right. Williams against Anderson. Williams stays with the ball, goes end line now. Now she'll cut back, looks for options. Williams again dancing around, trying to do a little too much there on Anderson. Rolfa tracks back. Again, Rolfa, one of the few players known for playing left back with FC Barcelona, her club team. Blackstenius was held up on the long ball that was sent, which was sent for her. No foul, and again, the Swedes continue to boo from the left-hand side of the pitch. Meanwhile, U.S. continue hurdling. Smith now, edge of the box in the left flank. Going up against Bjorn. Still dancing around. Smith. Sonnet. Girma. Rattling around. United States doing some good passing here. 11 minutes. Girma with the ball forward. Finds the feet of Smith. Smith lifted in. Can't find either Morgan nor Horan. Again, the attack is coming. It's just lacking that final product. And again, the officials missed this, but the U.S., I mean, essentially three players. That is, I think, all three of the attackers, Williams, Morgan, and Smith, all offside. So either way, it doesn't matter. Throw it now for the Swedes towards the attacking area. They're going to make two changes here. Again, two very experienced players in this side. Lena Hurtig, who's would make her 64th cap, and again, from the other side, you'd have Sophia Jakobsen. Listed as a forward, but again, they could be applying anywhere, really. If I'm not mistaken, one of them had a goal against the United States in the 2020 Olympics. I could be wrong when I say that. Fox with Ertz, lofted towards the right-hand side. Williams tracking back. Couldn't get the best first touch. Throwing for Sweden now in the attacking third. Rolfa with a turn. Finds some space for Blackstenius now. Edge of the box. Blackstenius shot blocked away. Girma to clear. Morgan to chest it down. Out towards Horan. Horan deflected off of Ilstedt, and now looks like we might see the change coming. Looks like Canard will be one of the players off. There might be a change for Blackstenius as well. I don't know. Unless Gerhardsson decides to put two strikers up front, and I think that's what's going to end up happening. Aslani is off. She's on a yellow card, so it's not that bad of a change, and Canard will be off as well. Jakobsen and Hurtig will check in. Hurtig will be wearing number 8. Sophia Jakobsen wearing number 10. 82nd minute, 8.5 minutes plus stoppage time left before this one is all said and done from Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. That is in regulation. If it's still tied, we go to 30 minutes of extra time. If it's still tied, penalty kicks. We had one penalty kick matchup in 2019, Norway against Australia. We had one extra time. Meanwhile, Rubenson almost gave the ball up towards Horan. Hungeldal just has to send it out. I mean, for both sides, if it's not for sending it forward, they're sending it out on the wings. And it's more the case for Sweden than it has been for the United States. As Girma sends a long ball forward looking towards Smith, and it curves out on the touchline. This time a defensive throw-in for the Swedes. But again, nervy moments for both sides. I don't know who an extra time would benefit here. Sweden or the U.S.? The way this match has gone, United States has looked like the better team. So really, it's just Sweden in a bend but don't break mentality. Don't get the goal. Don't allow a goal. Again, they could probably send something forward and everything could change and they could have the lead and stuff. But at the same time, you could tell that it would help. Moran going around. Rutig, unable to get the ball. Moran picks her head up. Left out on the wing now for Fox. Back with Haran. And Sonnet, who checked in. Sonnet with the loft over to the right for Fox. Fox in some space. She sends us in. Towards the back post it goes. Smith cannot get a touch as Jakobsen tracking back. Clears it forward. All the way towards, looks like, might be Blackstenius. Might be Blackstenius. Well, you got Blackstenius and Hurtig playing there. Hurtig playing more as a center midfielder. Now maybe a chance to go forward. Rubinson picks her head up, trying to find Hurtig. She had a lot of space in front of her and would have had a great split/through ball, but goes out with Fox. U.S. now on the other side. Moran plays it through. Oh, this is a good ball. Good chance for Alex Morgan. Her shot goes a little too right into the side netting. Either way, offside. This has been a back and forth type game, and I think the United States just caught up in the offside trap. The refs have not called it as much as they should have in this match, mainly because the chances haven't come to fruition, but oh boy, that was close. Free kick. Sent forward. Now with Blackstenius. Blackstenius. Oh, this could be interesting. Jakobsen now cutting inside. Jakobsen shot saved by Nair. Chested down by Ertz. Nair able to grab it off the rebound. And again, listen there. That's what you want to see out of a good goalkeeper. Didn't get too many chances to save a shot in this one. The first shot on target for the Swedes comes to the rescue. Long ball sent out towards Williams. Cleared back and forward. Blackstenius back with Hurtig. What is a 50-degree night in Melbourne? A cold winter night for them. Boy, is it electric, though, inside the stadium. Emily Fox played it out. Anderson. Blackstenius goes down. Push from behind. No foul called. Ball out with Williams. 5 minutes plus stoppage time left. If the United States want to find a winner before stoppage time, or rather before extra time, same goes for Sweden. Long ball sent by Sonnet out towards the wing, and Fox can control it. Sweden with another throw-in, and Vlatko is not enjoying the type of passing he's seen. Now it's Sullivan. Ertz. And now it's Naomi Girma. Girma. Fox again. Haran checking in on the ball, trying to play through, and the loft out towards Williams, seen out on the touchline. And that's basically the key right now for the U.S. is can they get the passing going? Because it hasn't looked too sharp in the past 5 to 10 minutes. So back with Sweden we go. Back with the chances we go. In some space, Magdalena Eriksson. Her fellow center back, Amanda Ilstedt, in the ball. She passes it out on the wing. Sophia Jakobsen. Kanerid, or rather, not Kanerid. Girma tried to knock it off of Jakobsen. It was actually last touched by Girma. So throwing for the Swedes, Peter Gerhardsson liking it, along with the Swedish fans who are right in front of their team right now. And you've got the Swedish on one side, U.S. on the other. Last touched. I believe that was last touch off Sullivan. Corner kick for Sweden now. 3 minutes in. 3 minutes until stoppage time. As I mentioned before, I mentioned this in the 70th minute. The later this match gets, the more the chances become, and I think the more you start to hold your breath with every chance, because who knows if it ends up being the game winner. Good news is we don't operate on a golden goal anymore. That's one thing. So 88th minute, right corner flag. This one will be swung in. Jakobsen to do the honors. It's a good ball. It's headed up. Morgan to do that. It's redirected back in by Rubinson. Angeldal's volley was well right of goal. But again, so many chances, I tell you. First there in the middle. Another redirect back in by Rubinson, which is knocked away. Takes determination to try to sift through all of the bodies. It also takes determination for that ball to get through. Either way, 89th. 2 minutes plus stoppage time left. Haran with the header. Morgan tried to play it through for Smith. Now Sullivan in some space. Chested down by Williams. Now to Fox. Fox, deflected cross. Williams with the chest down. She's got space on the right. Williams crossed into the middle. Morgan header saved! And again, Musovic comes to the rescue. This team is trying everything in their willpower to get that first goal. And the Swedish goalkeeper is standing on her head. Throwing again for the United States. Dunn out towards Smith on the left. Smith trying to find Morgan. That's cleared by Rubinson before any danger can be done. Sullivan now. Sullivan with Haran. Out once again with Williams on the left. Williams crossed in. Morgan header. And again, an easy catch. No, this time it's an easy catch by Musovic. But how about this header too? Alex Morgan, textbook type stuff. There's Haran also crashing in. On the way US is playing around with this team. Oh boy. It's just, can they turn something in? 13 seconds. They need a lucky number 13, whether that be Taylor Swift or Alex Morgan in this team right now. As we approach stoppage time. Fox now with some space on the right. 2 minutes of stoppage time here. Not much. If the U.S. are to get a winner. Sonnet. Nowhere to go. Goes back with Girma. Girma. Sonnet again with some pressure from Blackstenius, but back with Ertz. And again, and that's the question for the U.S. Do you want to get the winner now? Do you hold on for extra time? Probably you want to hold on. Nonetheless, Girma with a long ball sent towards Morgan on the left. Morgan against Ilstedt. And now I believe the offside flag will go up. And indeed it has. I don't know. I don't know about. Well, Morgan was offside, yes. I thought they were probably calling Sophia Smith. I was wrong. So free kick again for Sweden. About a minute left in regulation before we head to extra time. Haran headed down. It was with Smith. Smith taken down. Play continues. As here comes Fox on the right-hand side. This one lifted forward to Williams. Maybe one last chance for the United States as Williams sends it into the box. Headed away by Ilestedt, further by Hurtig. Only as far as Smith. Smith now pushed off the ball. No foul called. Now with Blackstenius, who's trying to get on the end of it. Ertz attempting to shield it off. And Ertz will play it back with Girma. Again, you still got a chance. About 20 seconds left in this Women's World Cup round of 16 matchup in regulation. If it's still tied, extra time we go. Ertz, too far for Anderson, chested down by Haran. Haran deflected out, throw in for the U.S. Fox to take. And with that, Stephanie Frapparas blowing the final whistle on regulation. It is tied 0-0 going to extra time. And right now, woman of the match has to be Cecilia Musovic with a great save on Lindsay Haran, a fiery shot that went about 55 miles per hour. Alex Morgan with the header that if it wasn't for a save, US would be up 1-0. I'll take a quick break and then I'll be back for extra time, 30 minutes of more soccer coming up right here on YouTube. So at the end of 90 minutes, it is still scoreless. It is still tied. So we had extra time to decide who gets to go to the quarterfinals and face Japan in the next round. I'm Mihir Sinhasan. Thanks for tuning in on what is an early Sunday morning, around 4 o'clock in the morning here in Phoenix. If you're on the East Coast, looking around 7 o'clock, sun's starting to go up, ready to start off your day. Meanwhile, in the middle of the night in Melbourne, Australia, Sweden against the United States, number 3 against number 1 in the world. The winner goes on, the loser heads home. And with that, extra time is underway. Sweden going from left to right once again, as they did in the first half. United States going from right to left. Back out with Sofia Jakobsen. The good ball sent in. 1-2 with Fridolina Rofa. Jakobsen with another cross in. That's headed away there by Andy Sullivan. Back out in some area. Jonna Anderson out in the area. Lena Hurtig fighting with Lynn Williams for the ball. One there by Williams. Fox trying to get some space to hurdle forward. She does and plays it through towards Williams on the right. Williams, what can she do? Decides to play a long ball, a little too long. Not that Cecilia Musovic was off her line, but it was worth a try. By the way, Cecilia Musovic, really good. Really good second half overall. I mean, first half, she got the save off Rodman, but to save Morgan's header that was going towards the far post, and then to further save Horan's shot. I mean, I'm stunned. Right now, the best goalkeeper performance we have seen in this Women's World Cup has come from Musovic. And that, too, only woman making her 13th appearance. The team, from a goalkeeper's perspective, led by Hedvig Lindahl for so many years, about 15. She ends up retiring. And then it's back to seeing who takes over the throne. She had a few others. Again, they've had a few other players come in, but it's been Musovic who has stood out amongst the rest. And yeah, I'll tell you, she's done a great job today. So if she wants that starting job, in my opinion, if I'm Peter Gerhardsson, I'm giving it to her. As a long ball sent forward, looking towards Stina Blackstenius. Julie Ertz will clear it out. She's trying to argue that Blackstenius went through the back of her. Won't be a foul in favor of the U.S. Instead, it will be a throw-in in favor of Sweden in the attacking third. Blackstenius, Ellen Rubinson with the ball sent in, done with a header out to the side. It's a little risky as Jakobsen sends it back in, a header into the area and cleared away by Sophia Smith. Only as far as Rubinson, whose long shot is headed up by Ertz and headed out by Sullivan. Jakobsen, Hurtig on the left. Rubinson again. Lifted into the middle. Hurtig with some chances. Now Rofa, edge of the box. Rofa has to go out wide. Anderson into the area, punched away. And a chance there. Blackstenius with a collision with Nair. And Alyssa Nair will get a foul in her favor. Blackstenius and Hurtig, the one challenging up the pitch. And Hurtig was onside. Blackstenius was not. Either way, goal kick for the U.S. I mean, I tell you, it's been one of those days. And give credit to Sweden as well. Started to take control here as we're about 3 minutes into extra time. Again, we do have an intermission of about 12 minutes or so, or rather, in a 12 minutes, plus about a minute or two of stoppage time. 0-0. And now we need a few extra minutes to decide who goes on to the quarterfinals, Sweden or the United States. Missed touch there by Rolfa. And back towards goal it goes. Back with Nair. Long ball played back. Either way, Nair will reset. Short pass with Sullivan. Sullivan back with Girma. Naomi Girma out with Emily Fox on the right. Some good balls out there. The right flank has looked a little bit interesting for the United States. More than interesting, plentiful with chances. Fox. Can the United States, the land of the free, show up? They must here. They must, Horan must, Morgan must. They've got a three-peat and a dynasty hanging in the balance here in the next 26 minutes. Plus stoppage time, plus penalties. Long ball sent in, and Sophia Smith could not bring it down. That was worth a chance, though. Worth a try. Again, give credit. I believe that was Sullivan, and Smith was onside there. A little too out of reach, though. So, 95th minute of this extra time period. And so, again, the questions remain for both sides. So Musovic to line up. Only Chelsea player. Again, a lot of interesting notes. Few teammates in Sweden, few teammates in England. Again, her Chelsea teammate, Canarid, is on the bench. She was taken off in favor of Jakobsen. Meanwhile, Sullivan to pip it out, looking towards Morgan and Smith. Morgan brings it down. Morgan shot near post save. And Musovic again comes up big. Alex Morgan continues to hurdle. You had a chance there with her and Sophia Smith who were running into that area. And again, another near post chance for the U.S. We saw Trinity Rodman take a couple of those in the first half. Morgan with a chance in the left here. And once again, we have a corner kick. Andy Sullivan walking over the United States, again, knocking on the door. They've been doing this throughout the entire day. They've looked like the best team on the pitch. Meanwhile, it looks like Philippa Angeldal needs some treatment. Blackstenius is stretching out her legs right now. Make sure the calves are nice and all right. It is a coolish night in Melbourne. It is about 40s right now. So the match started around 51, 52 degrees Fahrenheit. It has dipped down into the 40s right now. So it is a rather coolish day at the office, especially for two countries that are currently in the midst of summer. That includes Sweden too, right? Even though Sweden is a relatively cold country, it is summer. And let's look at this challenge here. Angeldal went down there. Sullivan won the ball back. You have two changes. Two substitutions have been made for Sweden. Only one for the U.S., and that was Lynn Williams coming in for Trinity Rodman. We'll see the third for Sweden. Philippa Angeldal off. And checking on for Sweden will be number 20. Couldn't tell who it was. I think it might be Bennison, and indeed it is. So Hannah Bennison to check in. U.S. with the corner kick here. 98th minute. Sullivan swung in low, deflected in, and rather out of play, as Ertz was the one to try to make the near poster. Crystal Dunn back out with Sullivan. Blackstenius challenging, and looks like it was Blackstenius with the last touch throw-in. Megan Rapinoe set to come in for the U.S. Smith now going in line. Cross, cut it away. Sullivan with a chance. First time, sends it into the stands. And now you're going to see it change again. U.S. has had these moments before. You had Rapinoe. And again, and the other thing with Rapinoe that I like is if you're in this moment that you don't get a goal in the next 22 minutes plus stoppage time, that is intermission stoppage time and second intermission stoppage time, you do have Megan Rapinoe off the bench, who's had experience taking penalties, right? She got the winner against Netherlands, which was from the spot. And then she also got some other chances. Got the winner against Netherlands in a penalty shootout in the quarterfinals of the Olympics. That was another 1 versus 2 type matchup where the U.S. were the 2 seeds, and they ended up getting the W there. So now the U.S. supporters see the changes being made, and now the cheers are starting to come. Alex Morgan will be the one taken off. So I would assume then Sophia Smith will start playing through the middle, and Rapinoe will be playing on her usual left wing, as she's done throughout her career. Thrown for Sweden. 99th minute. Oh boy, how the flares are rolling in this one. Sonnet. Chested down by Smith. Smith, again, not the best second touch. Jakobsen trying to go forward. Going towards the center. Picked off by Sullivan. She was looking towards Hertig there. Now another chance. Lifted in. Can't find Rapinoe. Goes towards Smith. Smith now towards Sonnet. Sonnet with just a layoff there. Not much. I don't know if she was going for a shot or she thought Rapinoe was close by, but nonetheless, Sweden's got the ball here. Hertig cut out by Fox with Sullivan now in the midfield. Long ball sent forward, looking towards Rapinoe. Chested down. Can she keep it in play? No. And that's the biggest thing with Megan Rapinoe is if she's going to be a receiver of service, which we've seen from that right-hand side, is she willing to take the touch? And that's been a problem with Rapinoe in this Women's World Cup, is she hasn't gotten the best first touches, hasn't gotten the best services. It hasn't looked good, but If there's a chance and a moment she can change it, especially with the leadership and experience she has at this type of stage, now's the time. About 5 minutes plus stoppage time left before the first intermission break. Sophia Smith taken down, no foul called. And back towards Musovic in goal. Ilestedt, Bjorn. Down to the middle for again. Benison taken down. Sonnet to get it back. Now it's Smith in the middle. Where does she go? She goes out to the right. Here's Williams now. Inside the box. Williams shot saved. Rebound can't be picked up by Rapinoe. Haran with the chance. Shot in. Headed away by Ostedt. And Musovic again comes up big. More importantly, Rapinoe couldn't get the rebound back in. She overran the ball. Which, I mean, Rapinoe was basically right towards goal. And she couldn't stop her run in time. Otherwise, she might have had an easy tap in to make it 1-0. Which, I mean, has been a common phrase I've said today, but even more. Musovic playing a lot like Hope Solo, former U.S. women's national team player. Looks a lot like Hope Solo as well. Seventh corner of the day, Megan Rapinoe to take it from the left-hand side. Whipped in near post. Cut away again. Julie Ertz with a near post run. There was a deflection, I believe, off Blackstenius. So they'll do take two from the left-hand side. Rapinoe once again stay out there. So here we go for another chance from that side. Rapinoe with her left arm up. Swung in near post into the box. Side netting. So goal kick. 3 minutes plus stoppage time left in this first intermission. Vlatko Andonovski looking over at his tablet. What can he do? What can the U.S. do to try to make the changes they need? Try to get a goal and avoid a penalty kick shootout. They've made 2 changes today. Trinity Rodman coming out for Lynn Williams towards the 65th minute, and then Alex Morgan coming out for Megan Rapinoe. So a change between the 2 co-captains in the 2019 Women's World Cup. Swedish player taken down here, Sullivan, and now it will be a free kick. Blackstenius, the one who fell to ground and was strangled down in that manner. Sonnet in the middle. Yeah, and that's a good, interesting question for Vlatko. Now, Roosevelt would be back in this situation. Obviously, Roosevelt out with yellow card suspension going into this match. But in the event U.S. does win this, where does Sonnet sit? Do you want her playing back? Is she going to play any appearances in this Women's World Cup? I don't know. It's been a mixed bag from her today, in my opinion. Nonetheless, free kick. Deep, sent forward, punched down by Nair. She's off her line. Smith has to cut back. Williams to clear. Nervy moments again. And again, Nair was almost face-planted down in that regards. Ball redirected back in. Ertz with a key header away. Key and clear. Smith, Williams, trying to take a pip around. And that's knocked around there. Funny business taken care of by Anderson. Out to the U.S.'s left back now. Crystal Dunn. Rapinoe can't play through there. Jakobsen knocked out. Throwing U.S. About a minute plus some intermission left in this first part of extra time. Again, it's regardless of what happens. If there's a goal in the first part of extra time, we will still play a second part of extra time. So it doesn't matter. Golden goal, technically in that regards, doesn't apply. It really just gives both teams a chance to reset and go forward. Naomi Girma. Done. Cut out there by Jakobsen. Rolfa. Rolfa now. Knocked out there by Girma. Throw-in for Sweden. Whatever we see, it will be a lot of drama here from Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. More than 27,000 in attendance. A lot of them at the edge of their seats right now. Bjorn? Blackstenius couldn't get to it again. Sullivan, pressured there in the middle by Rolfa. Girma was to cut out of a trance. She'll loft it forward towards Smith. And she's taken down, so free kick for the United States. Again, Vlatko Andonovski looking on. A long ball sent forward towards Lynn Williams. head back. Benison, Jakobsen, out on the right again. Here's Bjorn. 1 minute of intermission stoppage time, if you will. Out on the left again, Anderson. Blackstenius was taken down. She is down on the ground, now getting back up. Hurtig. Rubenson on the left. And now for Ilestedt. Ilestedt to Bjorn. Bjorn in some spots. Keeps on holding to the ball. Back with Ilestedt, and Sweden content to just hold on to the ball here before the intermission whistle will blow. And with that, first part of extra time is over. Musovic again with a key save, as we've seen throughout this match. Listen, they are as well not so tested, but with that, 15 down, 15 to go in extra time. With that, once again, I'll take a quick break, and I'll be back in a few moments. Quick break there. We're back for the second half of intermission. Sweden and the United States. Sweden now going from left to right, or rather, Sweden going from right to left, U.S. going from left to right. 15 minutes plus some stoppage time. If it is still tied, we go to penalties. Simple as that. Sonnet. With Sullivan. Back with Dunn. Rapinoe on the left-hand side. Deflected. Cleared away there by Ilestedt. Only as far as Sonnet. Dunn. Back out to Sonnet. Sonnet again. Dribbling on the ball. And you have a few players for the United States you can bring on. Savannah DeMello being one of them. Got a few players with experience, too. Kelly O'Hara, known for taking penalties in her day. Can bring up who the United States played in the 2020 Olympics, because that was a penalty shootout for this team. Was Roosevelt, Alex Morgan, Kristen Press, and Megan Rapinoe. Roosevelt is out of this match for yellow card suspension. Alex Morgan has been subbed off. Kristen Press is not in the squad. So it's really just Rapinoe. Here's Lynn Williams on the right. Williams into the box. Here's Smith's shot. Another save by Musovic. I mean, I tell you, at this point, it's almost like you have to get a goal, because all momentum is not in your favor if this goes to penalties. Knowing how Musovic has played, best goalkeeper performance I probably have seen at a Women's World Cup in general. Absolutely stunning. But nonetheless, the hurdling continues for the United States. Megan Rapinoe to take it from the right-hand side of the pitch. Right arm up. This one swung low into the box, skips through. Blackstenius, not the best chance. Earth with a shot, and that's another collect there. And it's not the best clearance, too. Blackstenius trying to send it forward. It went back. And it's just a lucky chance. Lucky for that team. Sent forward, knocked down by Dunn. Sullivan. Back with Girma. Emily Sonnet. And Sonnet listed as the center back to come in. And as Ertz was playing higher up in midfield, it's been more Ertz playing there. As Haran plays it outside for Williams, and the ball's a little too far as it goes out on the end line. Goal kick. But Vlatko Andonovski again continues to try to find the answer of who can you go forward. As I mentioned before, in that shootout against Netherlands, there were 4 takers for the U.S. They ended up winning that shootout 4-2. You had Lavelle, Morgan, Preston, Rapinoe. If I'm not mistaken, too, I could probably check this because these two, Sweden and the United States, played the penalties in 2016. Who took it? I know Kristen Press took the final kick and she missed it. But who else did? Morgan Haran took it in 2016. Meanwhile, here's Rapinoe. The United States trying to win this now. They're not worried about penalties as Rapinoe sends it outside. Williams collects it on the right. Williams, a little too high there for Haran. Flicked out by Yorn on the touchline throw-in. So Haran had one in the 2016 Olympics. And Morgan Bryan, who is no longer playing, Carly Lloyd, who is now a Fox Soccer analyst, and Kristen Press and Alex Morgan. Smith again, hurtling inside. She goes down, no foul called. And Dunn with the chance. She's gone all the way up the pitch. And a pass out on the right-hand side, a little too far for, looked like Jakobsen. That would have been a great chance, too, for Jakobsen to break. Smith was taken down. I don't think that should be a penalty, and that very little contact there on Sophia Smith. Here's Dunn. Lurking around. 110th minute. We've got 10 minutes plus stoppage time. If it's still tied, we go to penalties. Rapinoe with the long ball, and Fox has a track all the way back to the defensive third to get it. Now it's Sullivan. Sullivan in some space. She plays a long ball out towards Rapinoe on the left. It's a good ball. What can Rapinoe do? Lays it off towards Dunn. Dunn, right-footed cross into the box. Chested down. Cleared away by Rubinson. Not too far, though. Goes to Smith, edge of the box. Smith, hurtling shot. Another chance by Williams. Right towards Musovic again. That's her 10th save of the match. The 10th shot on goal for the United States. But again, how about those chances nonetheless? Sophia, again, the biggest question with the U.S., and it remains the case today. Yes, their passings look better. Yes, their spacing has looked better. But at the same time, they've lacked finishing product. And some of it is just the fact that they've had some great chances, and Musovic has found an answer for every one. But at the same time, there's just a few that, especially in a few minutes, have started to trickle down. Change coming for Sweden, Stina Blackstenius. The number 9 will be heading off, and heading on will be number 15, that being Rebecca Blomqvist. Rebecca Blomqvist, again, a player that has scored a few times. Scored against Italy, the last goal against Italy, and then a goal against Argentina. And ended up being the winner in that one and got Sweden to the first place spot. Nonetheless, it's going to be a free kick for the U.S. at around midfield. Blackville barking orders, same with Gerhardsson. Ertz to take the free kick here. It's in the U.S.'s defensive half, but closer towards midfield. As Ertz and Fox will be towards the ball, and Fox will just play it back towards Ertz. So a short free kick. Sullivan now. Out with Fox, and again, can't get a touch to it. So throwing back towards Sweden. Knocked down by Williams. Back with the Swedes. If there can be a winner here, that would be absolutely insane. And for the many United States fans in attendance for this one, would probably blow the roof off. You have a U.S. player down, that's Fox. Rapinoe able to track back. Rapinoe still going. She's taken down. That would be a free kick for the United States, rightfully so. And it looks like now there's tension with Fox. Looks like she's in some pain. Again, started the match. She's been playing now for almost 113 minutes. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears right now in this match, including with Fox. So I don't know if you do have Kelly O'Hara on the bench. If you need to use a substitution, you can. And that might actually help you in a penalty kick shootout. Meanwhile, Williams with Horan on the right-hand side up against Eriksson. She'll stop play. Horan now will cut inside. Will cut out, actually. Brother back with Fox. Fox with the long ball sent in. That's headed down. Towards Anderson. Fox can't play it, but Anderson with the last touch. And now Anderson is down. So both fullbacks getting winded in this one. Again, it seems like you got to play 113. So in some cases, that's almost a double shift if you play 60 minutes. Swedish fans are on their feet. They're still excited for this one. Same goes for the United States. In one of those cutthroat type games down the stretch. Again, the United States have played these in a few. Their final against China, 1999, ended up being a scoreless draw. U.S. won 5-4 on penalty kicks. Granny Chastain with the winner. So ball will be sent forward here by Musovic. Fresh off Anderson getting some treatment. Knocked back by Sonnet. Now with Rapinoe now in the middle. What can she do? Going forward, Rapinoe trying to send it out towards Williams. That's no good. And a flailing challenge there, if you will. Or rather, it was Benison. Called for, or rather getting the foul there. Rapinoe, the one called for it. She's the culprit. 115th minute, 5 minutes plus stoppage time left. As it looks right now, if the score remains the same, we head to penalties. Back it goes again. Ball sent forward. A challenge here. Nair to scoop it up with a running Blomqvist in the area. Again, a great counterattack there. Great header up, too. Couldn't tell who it was. Might be Jakob. Might have been Hurtig, maybe. Hurtig or Jakobsen, one of the two. Nair able to collect. She'll boot this forward. Once again out towards Lynn Williams, who's basically been Trinity Rodman 2.0 in this one. Both of them speedy, both of them quick, both of them with great shots from the right-hand side. So throw in again, 116th now. Hurtig with the header. Hurts boots it back. All the way back towards Eriksson, who wins it against Smith. Anderson up towards Horan. Horan scoops it forward, and here's a chance for Williams on the right. Williams crosses in. Smith can't get to it. Rapinoe will have to run back post, and will have to dribble around a few times. Out towards Sullivan in the middle. Sullivan redirected back in, deflected back there. Believe that was by Benison, and cleared. Able to save a corner kick is Anderson, but all the way back towards Fox it goes. Fox taken down, and that's a free kick. Hurtig called for the foul. 117th, and again, 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time. It's almost as time continues to trickle down in this one. Well, in favor of Emily Fox, Annie Sullivan take the free kick, or so it was going to be Annie Sullivan. Now Megan Rapinoe will be the one to do so. 117th minute. A goal could come at any moment, and a goal that comes at any moment could be the winner at this point. Smith, Williams, Ertz, Horan, many bodies in that box. There we go. 118th now. Rapinoe swings this one. low into the box, and that's cut away easily. All the way back towards Girma. We'll send this outright, trying to find Rapino again, and that's cut out there by Anderson. Fox will see this out for a throw in here. 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Rapino will decide to take the throw in. Last second decision there by Fox. Rapino with another throw in. He finds Williams now, or rather Smith, on the right hand side. Smith, left footed cross, cleared away. Only as far as Sullivan. Back with Fox. Laid off. Ertz. Can't find Sonnet nor Fox. Maybe a chance for Sweden on the break. They're not going to get it. 2 minutes plus stoppage time left, but a free kick's given towards the Swedes as Blomqvist goes down. Yellow card given. And that goes for Julie Ertz. And it was part of a transition move, so it does make sense that Ertz would want to make the foul, and two, the foul would be called. And they're lucky that it wasn't an attacking area where it was a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Well, it didn't look too obvious, but more importantly, a free kick now for Sweden. Rubinson to take this. About 35, 40 yards out. Indirect, right-footed in-swinger into the box. Headed up by Williams. Smith trying to get it in that area. Fighting with Anderson. Smith goes down. No throw-in yet. Now the throw-in will be in favor of the U.S. It looks like Vlatko will make a couple changes, a couple veterans coming in, Christy Mewis and Kelly O'Hara. So it looks like, I think Vlatko understands that penalties are now upon them. As I mentioned before, you had Haran, who took the penalty in 2016 Olympics, Megan Rapinoe, who took the penalty in the Women's World Cup final in 2019, got the United States the game winner before Roosevelt tacked on an extra. Haran in the 2016. And quite a few chances, I'd tell you that. Quite a few chances. I'd love to see how this ended up working for the match against Brazil. It was a while back in 2011. It was Box, Lloyd, Wambach, Rapino, and Krieger. So Rapino, the only player working there. Nonetheless, Kelly O'Hara and Christy Mewis now in the match. In the case that the United States goes to penalties, and more importantly, if it goes to sudden death, they've got their players. 1 minute of stoppage time left in this one. Lofted forward by Fox. That's headed away down the line. Maybe one last opportunity for the U.S. Kelly O'Hara now, who's checked in for Fox, will be the one to throw this. A little too far, so it flicks off Haran's head. Goal kick. We've got the extra football, and looks like we'll have some more extra football before this one is all said and done. U.S. fans from sea to shining sea. Sea to shining sea. From Montana to Miami. From New York to the New Coast. From Boston to Bakersfield. Hold your breath, because it's going to be interesting. 50 seconds left. And that one is done. 120 minutes through, and we are heading to penalty kicks. From sea to shining sea. Let's see what ends up happening. Philadelphia to San Francisco. Los Angeles to New York. Wherever you are tuning in to this match, do not go anywhere. Penalties coming up between Sweden and the United States. So after 120 minutes, we are set for penalty kicks between Sweden and the United States. Again, this is the seventh all-time meeting between the two sides at a Women's World Cup. The United States has won 4. This is now the second time, though, it's ended out in a draw. First time was in 2015. 2016, these two teams met in Brazil for the Olympics. That one was also going to penalties. That time, Sweden won. More than that, Sweden ended the United States' quest for a three-peat for the gold medal. This time around, the United States is eyeing a three-peat for the Women's World Cup. And the one team standing in the way right now is Sweden. And more importantly, their goalkeeper, Zecira Musovic, who has made more than 10 saves in this match. Coin toss happening at midfield. Stephanie Frappart, your referee, holding the coin. Lindsey Horan for the United States. And Magdalena Eriksson for Sweden. Coin toss is made. Or rather, it will be illustrated. Let's see what ends up happening here. Flip made. United States won the coin toss, and they will get the first kick, it seems like. Alyssa Naeher for the United States, again, was, I believe, a part of that squad in 2016. I could stand corrected. But again, for a Naeher team that hasn't made so many appearances in this spot. Hope Solo's been in this spot before, 2011, but if you yet to see Alyssa Naeher really take the reins here, big moment for her in her career for the United States women's national team. She will be back there. And then, of course, Zecira Musovic making her 13th appearance today. 10 saves in this one. Got a save against Horan, against Morgan in regulation. More chances came in extra time. United States and Sweden. Got a few seagulls rolling around here. And now it's Stephanie Frappart talking over with Naeher and Musovic. The biggest thing I would say in a penalty kick is trust your instincts. Trust your instincts. Trust where you're going, especially if you're the one kicking the ball. And if the goalkeeper guesses correctly, strike with conviction. Even if the goalkeeper guesses the right way, who knows? You could get it past her. Now Frappart will talk with Naeher and Musovic to make sure everybody is on the line. Of course, goalkeepers need to have one person on the line at all times. First up in the PK shootout, Andi Sullivan has been taking a lot of free kicks for this team, playing in her first Women's World Cup. Has some good chances there. Played in the 6th role throughout this time. Had so many chances to try to get an assist. Meanwhile, Musovic is talking over with Frappart on the rules. And I think she's just trying to get clarification about trying to get her arms up and moving. That could be possible. We've seen that with goalkeepers before. It's on Sweden's side of the pitch, the penalty shootout. Andi Sullivan against Zecira Musovic. Waiting for the time. Whistle blows. This to start off the penalty shootout. Sullivan puts it away right in the lower left corner with conviction. Musovic guessed the right way, but she was late to the challenge. And that's how you start off a penalty shootout. She knows it as well. 1-0 US. Sweden on the other side, being their left winger, played left back with Barcelona, Fridolina Rolfö. Again, she's been in these positions before, played with Barcelona. I believe she took a penalty. She might have taken a penalty kick in the 2016 shootout, if I'm not mistaken. Rolfö against Naeher. Steps up, and she puts it there. This time, going to Naeher's left. Naeher also went to that spot. Just sneaking it past. It's 1-1. So back with Lindsey Horan. As I mentioned before, took a penalty shot in that shootout in Brazil back in 2016. She made it against Hedvig Lindahl. Now against Zecira Musovic. Does she convert again? Haran shoots it, and it's another convert. Right in the left corner. Lindsay Haran, the co-captain, the captain now with Morgan on the bench, puts it away 2-1, pressures back on Sweden. And now it'll be Ellen Rubinson stepping up. And stepping the ball down. Alyssa Nair, no saves yet from either goalkeeper. Could it change here? Rubinson stepping up, one of the newer players in this lineup. Whistle blown. Rubinson, right-footed, and it's another great take. Right into the lower, or rather into the left corner. 2-2. And she'll give a fist pump to the crowd as well. Back with the United States, Christy Mewis, who was brought in off the bench right before the end of stoppage time in extra time to take this. Got her left boot against Musovic. She was brought in off the bench. Christy Mewis, can she convert? Yes! She sends Musovic the wrong way as she went to Musovic's right. 3-2 US. And Blocko and crew are happy. Back to Sweden we go. Bjorn to take. Natalie Bjorn, again, one of the few players who did not play in the match against Argentina, got some resting time, played 120 minutes today. Can she convert here? She skied it! And United States holds on to the lead. A rough take. A rough take. And now it goes down to the fourth spot again. Megan Rapinoe, converted in 2019 Women's World Cup. She was the ideal penalty kick taker for this team in the last Women's World Cup. Converted in 2020 at the Olympics to send U.S. to the semifinals. Converted against Sweden in 2016. This to extend the United States lead. Rapinoe, breathing in and out, stepping up, and she skies it as well. Commentator's curse strikes again. And again, a golden opportunity for the United States. That would have really put Sweden in a hole, and Rapinoe went to the right-hand side. She'll remain cheerful for now. Rebecca Blomqvist steps up for Sweden. Brought on in extra time with a chance. This would be to tie it up. Blomqvist, saved by Nair! She dove to the left as Blomqvist went there as well. And it's a tough save. United States keeps the lead, and they have a chance to win it on the next kick. How about this? Sophia Smith stepping up to the plate, 12 yards away from goal. A lot on the line here. A trip to face Japan in the quarterfinals on the line. The pride of Fort Collins, Colorado, could be the pride of the United States if she makes this. Sophia Smith against Asira Musovic from the spot. Here she is. She steps up and she skies it. Incorrect again. So after makes from both sides, it's been misses there. It's actually wide right. But the United States can still hold on if Sweden misses. All eyes now stand on Hannah Bennison. This would be to either continue this and go to sudden death or end it as it is. Chance on the other side for Sweden. Hannah Bennison against Alyssa Nair. Whistle blows. Bennison buries it. And we had a sudden death. Nair dove to her left. Bennison sends her the wrong way. So 3-all. And now a tempered chance. Alyssa Nair, the U.S. goalkeeper, is about to take this. What in the world's going on here? Whistle blows. Alyssa Nair. Can the netminder take the lead? Yes! She sends it right down Broadway. And now she'll go right into goal. How about that? Emphatic as it is. Musovic dove to her right. She might have just stayed right in the middle. And how about that? US love it. And it's back to the field players. Magdalena Eriksson for Sweden. One of the center backs. She's played in all 3 matches in the group stage. She started today up against Alyssa Nair, who just converted a penalty. This to either continue it or US is on to the quarterfinals. Eriksson buries it again. Goes the right way. That is Nair. 4-all onto the next round. And you got the Swedish crowd on their side. Kelly O'Hara. Another team, another player that could really help with changes. Here we go. Was brought in, once again, extra time. US converted her penalty. What about her? Kelly O'Hara. With the kick. Off the post. And US is in real trouble now. It now comes down to the Swedish to either continue it if it's missed or saved, or end it. A big chance. As I mentioned before, 7 years ago, it was the United States taken out of the Olympics from Sweden. They went to penalties. The final score was 5-4. Lena Hurtig for Sweden, trying to make it 5-4 in this penalty shootout and send Peter Gerhardsson and crew back to the quarterfinals and send the U.S. out. Can they do it? No, they can't. Nair with the double save on the line. Hurtig's trying to say it crossed. Nair saying it didn't. And now Frappart will check. Oh, boy. It was a double save by Nair. It was a ball that went up in the air. Frappart is, I think, arguing. And she's called it a goal. Sweden has knocked out the United States of the World Cup. What a crazy ending as it is. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And once again, history repeats itself. United States looking for the three-peat, denied by Sweden, 5-4 on penalties. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about the kicks that were taken. I don't know what to say about the type of what Frappart's initial ruling was, though. That's my biggest question is, what was the ruling? But tears will be shed on the U.S. side. First time in history the United States failed to get into the top 4 of a Women's World Cup, let alone out in the round of 16. It shows how teams get better over time. Teams become more competitive. And sometimes you get crazy matches like this. Again, Lena Hurtig is right now, she scored the game winner as it is. Not much more you can say there. But heartbreak for the United States. Team that has truly defined what it means to be excellent at the world stage. World number one going into this Women's World Cup. Let's take a look at the Hurtig chance. And it did cross the line barely. By the skin of your teeth, the ball crossed the line off Hurtig's chance. Nair made the save. She got a pot to it, but she couldn't keep it out of the goal. And that is how the two-time defending champs go down. Final score here from Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. Sweden, after tied 0-0, beats the United States 5-4 on penalty kicks. I'm Mihir Sinhasan. Tune in tomorrow. We got some interesting ones. I believe Australia-Denmark is up on tap. Now that the United States is out, who takes the crown? We'll see as this Women's World Cup progresses on. So long. Have a great night. Go into morning if you're for the United States, and stay safe.